Never.
My name is Jenna Footage. Some people call me Gemma, but I have a new one, Gemina. I like it. It kind of squashes it together. I'm a vocalist, songwriter. I've been in the business most of my life, and I have my own label. It's called Mama Grace Records. My mother is Mama Grace, and I have 9 records on my label of my own that I've self-produced. And this particular record that Mark Ruffin introduced me, this artist, Terry Collier, I'm absolutely in so much joy about doing this project. And it needs to happen. And I did my Abby Lincoln record on Kickstarter. And so now I want to try again to do the crowdfunding to allow us to make these dreams that we want to do for this record a reality. So I'm here today to ask you to please give what you can and check out Terry. I think you really love his music, and I'm excited to be able to perform it.
That was tremendous.
That was awesome.
That was tremendous.
That was a lot of information.
Awesome. Yes.
It was perfect.
I don't know if I.
She doesn't even
I might have
have any
said
questions
a lot.
anymore.
Yeah. I just something about like your upbringing. Like, how did you get into music? You know, who inspired you? Those, you know, when did you get started? Were you like 2 years old,
Pretty
singing
much.
in the shower, or? Yeah.
My
Is it-
mom says that I have been cooing since I was a little girl, since I was months old, and I'd stay up really late. And she played Nat King Cole records and Ella Fitzgerald and stuff. So I learned these sounds. It wasn't even a song, it was these sounds from when I was a little girl. And my brother Nino was also a vocalist, and he started professionally, I think he was 12. And from that point on, I was doing musicals in school and singing in church and singing with my family. And from there, it's part of our lives. My nephew now is a guitar player in a band, and it's what I do. I do music, I do art, and it keeps me alive.
And
Hi, Jenna.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
How are you, folks?
Hello, everybody.
We want to talk to fans of Jenna and fans of a man named Terry Collier. Jenna, talk to your fans.
Mark Ruffin and I have been friends for a very long time. And for the last few years, I've watched you do some really interesting things, producing records for some incredible people. And in passing, it's been, we need to work together, we need to work together.
We need to do something. And on my side of the ledger, as I started producing records, I started having some luck. I started, a guy named Giacomo Gates, I did a tribute record, and he ended up getting a 3-record deal. I did a record with a singer named Renee Marie. She ended up getting a Grammy nomination. I did a record with a singer named Charnay Wade. It was a Gil Scott-Heron tribute record, and it is nominated for a British FM Jazz Award. And Charnay is so cool, Jenna. She'll say, when she talks about the record, she says how it changed her life. So after Charnay really was the one who inspired me, maybe I can help some more of my friends who I think should be heard. And as Jenna and I were talking, we should work together. I thought, well, gosh, if there's anybody I know who should have a wider audience, it's Jenna Footage. If anything I could do to help Jenna would be great, actually. So that spurred me on, because I also fell in love with a guy named Terry Collier when I was young, and I don't think he is heard enough. And he has such an interesting story, Jenna. And I introduced Jenna to Terry, and just what do you think of his voice?
I love his voice. I love his heart. He really is. He's Midwest.
Yes.
He's Midwest.
Yes, yes.
Michigan,
and while I may
Illinois.
be New York now, I was Chicago, while you may be California, you are Benton Harbor, Michigan, yeah, Midwest. And Terry has such an interesting story in that people never knew what to do with Terry Collier. He was with a Warner Brothers label. He
And
was
I
with
should have done a record because
Exactly. That's my point. Nobody knows what to do with Jenna. Okay, that's one reason why I think why this is such a great idea. And Jenna has always worked with great guitar players.
Yes.
Okay, what was Andre?
Andre Bush.
Yeah, yeah. And then I just love Rolf and Terry is a very singer-songwriter, guitarist and vocalist. And as actually I had someone else in mind to do this project, but as things worked and I kept seeing Jill, I was like, she's perfect for this, perfect.
I'm perfect.
You sing songs about love? You're such a romantic. You sing songs about consciousness, about people and places and
Well, I did the Abbey record.
yeah, Abby, yeah, and Terry does too, so that's why I think it would be such a great fit. We also have dreams about this record too.
Big dreams.
Big dreams. And in today's environment, crowdsourcing, fundraising, that's how you do it nowadays. So my belief is that we should tell all our dreams. We should dream big. And what happens at the end would be a result of our dreams, and what we accomplished would be a result of what we thought we could do, you know? No matter what that end result is. So one of my dreams is because Terry Collier has such a connection to Kurt Elling and to Earth, Wind and Fire and Minnie Riperton and Chicago in general, I thought Kurt Elling would be a great person to be on the record, because when he was at the Green Mill, Kurt Elling, every Wednesday he was at the Green Mill. Whenever he wasn't there, Terry Collier was the person.
And every Monday.
Was
For a
Patricia
while.
Barber, that's right, was Jenna. at the
Patricia
Green
Barber
Mill.
has Monday nights, and a few years, a while back, Andre Bush and I would play when she was on tour. So anytime you want to go on tour, Patricia.
But you know what's funny? I think there may have even been times when Patricia was going on a Monday and you played, and Kurt was going on a Wednesday and Terry played, okay?
And we just kept passing.
So, you know, it's Chicago people we want to talk to in this video, because so many people from Chicago love Terry. So many people in Washington, D.C. love Terry so much, he has a record called TC in D.C. And Detroit, a lot of people love him in Detroit, but London and Germany, it's ridiculous how much. When Terry Collier died, Chicago couldn't even get it together to do a tribute. From what I understand, his tribute in London was a big hall somewhere, you know. He became this accidental hit in London, and so it's the people in England we want to talk to, because we want to talk to also because we want to keep Terry's legacy going, as well as introduce Europe and Detroit and Chicago and Oakland. Let's not leave Oakland out. But see, we don't have to introduce Oakland to Jenna.
No,
But we have
that's,
to introduce everybody else, right?
but in that same regards that I did with Abby Lincoln, there were people that when I would sing Throw It Away, for instance, they'd go, who wrote that song? And I say, are you familiar with Abby Lincoln? No, well, now you need to. And then people would come back to me and say, I bought 10 of her records based on that one song that I heard.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing the record, it's crossed again. Her fans came to me, and I'm getting her music out there. And so when you turned me on to this, I started reading anything I could. I Googled Terry. I feel like I know him, but I've never met him, but I've read more about him than...
How about when you tell some people who are, if you just say, I'm doing a Terry Collier record.
Oh, Terry Collier. And then they start telling me their favorites.
Yeah. Another dream of ours is having our mutual friend, Renee Marie. Hi, Renee.
Hi, Renee.
To also be on this record. And something incredible that happened through Jenna and I talking, and Jenna spreading the word. Talk about the two other guys we may have as guests.
Oh, Jeff Haynes.
Jeff Haynes and Marvin Sewell,
Marvin Sewell.
who for many years played with Cassandra Wilson. So,
Ralph.
Oh, Ralph, yeah. Well, Ralph will be an integral part of it. Tell me how long you and Ralph have been together and who Ralph is.
Ralph is a guitar player originally from Pennsylvania, but he lives in New York. His name is Ralph Sturm, and we met about 18, well, we say that now, but it's been a couple of 3 years, so like 21 years ago we met, and we were in a rock orchestra here in Manhattan that did the music of the Grateful Dead and Led Zeppelin. 20 pieces on stage. So we made a lot of money doing that.
Wow.
Kidding. But so he and I had just made a record a couple of years ago, and we're doing another one, but he is really, really interested in being a part of this project too.
Yes. So I think we're off to a good start. We're gonna call in all of our favors in New York and in Chicago. Another dream of mine would be to have someone in London like Jill Mullins, who was Terry's guitar player in London, or Eric Hochberg, who was Terry's bass player in Chicago, and somehow through technology connect London with Chicago, all through the love of Terry and the further the adventures of me and Jenna.
And tour.
Yes.
So get the music out there.
Yeah.
Make a CD, do a video.
And any Terry Collier fan who sees this knows that Terry's music should be heard by a wider audience, and you already know the importance of Terry's music, whether it's his love songs or his conscious songs or songs about people. We want his music to be heard, and I want Jenna to be heard.
Thank you.
So please help us.
Please help us.
And cut.
Hi, I'm Mark Ruffin, and I'm pretty sure that many of Jenna's fans and followers have no idea who I am. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of folks who may be into Terry Collier may not know who I am. But I go back with both a long way. And my, how can I say, my bona fides for doing this really is my whole life. I was born in a record store. Did you know I was born in a record store?
I did not know that.
Well, not literally born in a record store. Oh yeah, I was brought home. My folks owned a record store for the first 8 years of my life. They were just how come I'm sick like I am, you know. How I learned to read was me and my sister. We had all these 45s coming in, and we saw Curtis Mayfield and Smokey Robinson all the time on any number of records. So that is really how I learned to read, how I got into it. Really how I got into Terry Collier, because Terry was a songwriter for the Dells, and he was a Chess Records artist, and you know the record came in, and I fell in love with the guy, you know, and his whole sound, and really, really his sound is based on Charles Stepney, and I think we talked about that. But again, that comes from Chicago, and in Chicago, where I lived for the first 50 years of my life, 28 or 30 of those years were spent on the radio. I was on 4 different radio stations: WBEZ, WBEE, WNUA, WDCB, and folks in Chicago, you know those stations. And I, you know, when I was a kid, I thought I was going to be Smokey Robinson. I thought I was going to be a big producer, songwriter. So producing kind of was always something I wanted to do. And I started producing records in 2000. George Freeman was the first record I produced, the brother of Von Freeman. And guess who were the guest vocalists on that record? I had 2 guest vocalists. Guess who they were? Come on, Jenna, you're off camera, you can say. Guess who the 2 vocalists were on that record? Renee Marie and Kurt Elling. That's right.
Who did you work with for the Emmys? Like, what?
Okay. And then after right after producing George Freeman, I got a call from WTTW television in Chicago, and the guy was a fan of my radio work and thought I'd be good on television. And I did the screen test, and he said, "The camera loves you." Yeah, and I was like, "Really?"
We all did.
And I said, "How much is it?" And I got the gig, and after my first year, I won an Emmy. I'll never forget this, you know, when they told me I won the Emmy, because I didn't go to I was like, that's a joke. And I won, and I said, I can't take this. There have been people been in TV for years and years, never won an Emmy. He said, how long you been on radio? I said, 28 years. And what has radio given you? I said, okay. And then 2 years later, I won another Emmy, which was really surprising for me. And in fact, some of these awards can change your life. Right after I won my second Emmy, I was a semifinalist in Sundance.
Really?
Yes, at the Sundance screenwriting competition. And that scared me, Jenna. It scared me and spurred me at the same time, because I knew it's like a validation. Boy, I have talent, but this is not all luck. And then it was like, but what am I gonna do? That's when I picked up producing more records. That's when I picked up and eventually got a plan in my life, ended up in New York, and ended up producing Chardonnay and Renee, and once things started really happening with that, and got a Grammy nomination with Renee, I was shocked at that. And it was like that old thing from when I was a kid. I wanted to be Smokey Robinson. I want to produce more records. And that's how.
I want you to as well.
Thank you, thank you. And we need your help to do it too. All you folks in Chicago, Detroit, Washington, D.C., London, and every city in Germany, and all over the world who love Terry Collier and Jenna, please help us make this record.
Please.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect.